10:05, welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO. In studio with me right now, candidate for Lubbock County Judge. Early voting continues today. Karen Gibson, welcome back.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good.
How's the campaign?
Going good. It's
Yeah?
going good. Yes.
What are people when you're out? It's still early voting that's going on. People, I think, are finally deciding who they're going to vote for in this. What are they asking you about? What are they talking? What is the top of mind of Lubbock County voters?
It's still roads.
Yeah.
It's still public safety, roads. That hasn't changed. And it's interesting. That has been on people's minds from day one. That and, of course, the raises.
Yeah.
They always bring those up. People didn't forget that.
I don't think they will. I think that's going to be something on the top of their mind for a while.
Yeah.
One of your opponents wants to, I guess, basically shape this race as, the attorney versus non-attorneys, those who are not qualified for this position.
Yes.
But talk about that. He says that 75% of the job and 75% of the current job that Tom Head is doing right now is judicial. Do you agree with that?
No. The job of the county judge is administrative and judicial, but mainly it is administrative. The actual job of the county judge is overseeing the budget and the administration of the county. That is your job. Now, as far as judicial, there is that part of it. It is not 75% of the job. It is overseeing uncontested probates, guardianships, and mental health cases. If it were 75%, the state wouldn't send you a piece of paper and say you need to sign this. This is the beginning of the year, that you're going to do 40% of your time doing judicial duties so that you get the $25,000 a year stipend that goes along with that. So the state understands that it's not even 75% of the job.
When you say you get the 25, is that go towards the county or towards the person?
It goes to the judge. Okay. For doing those duties. So the state even understands it's not 75% of the job. The training that comes along with it, if anything is contested, it goes to the county court. The commissioner's court or the county judge's court is not a court of record. So anything contested goes to the county court.
Right. Well, and I had another candidate on earlier this week running for county court at law number 3, and he said if it's contested, it comes to us.
That's right.
When I had one of your opponents on, he said no, everything, and you've probably heard his ads. Everything runs through the county judge. So, is he lying?
I'm not gonna call him a liar by any stretch. That's what he believes.
But he's wrong, in your opinion.
In my opinion, he's wrong.
Okay. So let's expend a little bit more time on the judicial part, because you did say part of it is judicial. Mm-hmm. For those who want somebody who's competent, knows the law, who's going to be in there, who is not going to put people in a bad spot, they're not going to let down the county as far as the judicial side goes. What can you say to those folks about what you will bring to that office and that part of the office?
Certainly, you follow the law. You follow the law. You go through the training. Whoever gets in that position will go through training. You follow the law. It's very simple, and the training that you go through follows the law. It's not a hard process to go through thoroughly everything that's in front of you and be logical and compassionate and know what is to be done following the law on every case.
And so do you lean on other attorneys? Do you lean on other people?
There's attorneys there to help you.
Okay.
There's people there to help you if you have questions. And obviously, you would have questions. Anyone would. I'm sure even if you're an attorney, you're going to have questions on certain cases. Mm-hmm. So, yes, there's people there to help you through if you have questions. So, certainly, it's not that I would be the know-all, be-all, but you would follow the law on each and every case.
Okay. Let's talk about some things that came up in the debate, which I appreciate that you participated in this past Monday.
Thank you for doing that, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a pleasure. I had a good time doing it. The first question that I asked y'all was about courthouse security. And
yes.
in light of what happened in Florida, it makes everyone think about their own security. It makes, about building security. For a while on this show, I know that we have talked about the security at the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been a lot of people like yourself who have a license to carry. And a lot of people who have called into this show who have said, we'd love to be able to carry and not have to disarm and put our guns in our car, out in downtown Lubbock and then walk into the courthouse just for their own personal safety. They'd
Sure.
like to be armed. Courthouse doesn't allow that to happen right now. What are your feelings on that? Should it change? Because that is something that the commissioners do get to decide is courthouse security.
I don't have a problem carrying in the courthouse. Now, I do think we need to sit down and visit with Sheriff Rowe. Within the courtrooms proper, I think that there could be an issue there. But I think within the courthouse, I don't have a problem with that. Now, how you get guns out of the courtroom proper if you're in the courthouse, that could get costly. So I would have to sit down and visit with the sheriff and see how that would work. But that being a CHL holder, and with the world today, you can carry in City Hall,
right?
And so
you can carry at the state capitol.
You can carry at the state capitol as long as you're a CHL holder. So I don't have a problem with that.
And so, do you think that the problem that is currently there is that people don't want those with a license to carry inside the building, or is it a problem of money and that it would be tough to, I guess, single out the individual courtrooms?
I think that's a big issue is, with the single courtrooms, it's probably very costly to have someone at each courtroom
wanding somebody, trying to make sure they don't have a gun.
Yeah. Sure, going into that courtroom. And that could be an issue. Absolutely, it could.
On Monday night, I think it was pretty big news when you said it. You said that courthouse security has been lax in your experience. Mm-hmm. It's been lax. Talk about that a little bit. Did you hear from anybody after that? Because to me, that was, a pretty interesting comment that you made.
Well, the last couple of times I've been to the courthouse, the bell went off. And they look up and say, "Oh, go ahead." Well, to me, if you're going to have security.
Right.
Don't just wave me on through. I'm not saying they're not doing their job. I'm not trying to dish anybody, but I will tell you the next day, a friend of mine went to the courthouse for some business. The bell went off and they were wanded. So for what it's worth, they did beef it up, and good for them. Because if you're going to have security, have security.
Yeah.
If you're going to just wave people through, then don't have security. You're either going to do it or you're not, is what I'm saying. You're either going to pay for it and do it, or you're not going to do it.
Right. When we come back, we're going to talk about roads. We're going to talk about the budget. We're going to talk about some other issues facing Lubbock County. 770-5790, 1-800-687-0790. Second part of our interview with a candidate for Lubbock County Judge in the Republican primary, Karen Gibson, when we come back. Karen Gibson in studio with us, candidate for Lubbock County Judge. Let's talk about a couple of different things that popped up during the debate. And one of those was a possible bond election for Woodrow Road. Mm-hmm. I know you've been talking a lot about Woodrow Road. There was some disagreement up on that stage Monday night with one of your other opponents agreeing. I think two of you agreed to do a bond election for Woodrow Road, correct? Mm-hmm. Why is that a good idea?
Well, because you're not going to have enough cash, number one, to do the whole thing. It's going to be extremely costly now. you can also, if you do a bond, you can add others in, and it's not just Woodrow Road that needs to be done. I mean, we all talk about Woodrow Road because it's on our minds right now. I mean, it's in horrible shape. There's people getting killed and hurt out there, and so it's on everybody's mind. But there's other roads within the county that need to be done, and you can just add others to it. Mm-hmm. So I think you go in, find where those priorities are, and add others to that, and do a whole package, if you will, for roads.
Let me ask you this: because all the candidates in a Republican primary, everyone talks about low taxes, wanting to keep taxes low,
sure,
wanting to keep property taxes low. If we have a bond election for roads, if we have a bond election for an arena on the county side, how do we keep taxes low and do these two bond elections?
Well, I think you first of all, you don't put it all together, all or nothing. I think you do it a cafeteria style. Let the people choose which ones they would like.
So they'll pick individual roads?
No. What I'm saying is you don't put it all the
so
arena,
a road's in an arena.
Right.
Okay.
Right. You keep that separate. But I think as far as the roads, first of all, you got to go see where the savings are in the budget. That's number one. You go through that budget and see where those savings are. If there's some savings in there, you use that first and see what you can get done first. There may be enough in there to do several of those roads that you don't even have to put on there, or part of Woodrow Road where you wouldn't even have to put that on there. You've got to find your savings first and then see where you're at from there. But once you do that, then you let the people decide, do you want to put on half a cent or whatever to get these roads done and make them safe? Let them decide. Now, people understand that roads are public safety and that they've got to be done. So I think that's going to depend on what they're going to want to do. A lot of people think you let something roll off before you do it, but therein lies the problem, and that's where we're sitting with the Coliseum now. They wanted to wait until something rolled off before they added that money or
right.
added that increase. Well, by the time that happened, the inflation had hit, and there wasn't enough money. So you've got to be very careful how you do that, so that the money is there that the people voted for.
In this race and in other races, people talk about lower taxes. Obviously, we just
sure.
talked about that. But they also talk about the government, whatever government it is, bringing in less money. You know, the taxes, either while the tax rate may stay the same, government's still bringing in more money. People are still paying more. City councils work sort of the same way, that over the last few years, fees keep going up. The tax rate may stay the same, but taxes are going up. People are paying more to the city of Lubbock. For those who say, well, wait a minute, if you say we're going to keep taxes low, but the city keeps bringing in more money, when you go to the county, are we going to see more of the same, where the county's going to keep bringing in more money? Property tax payers are going to keep paying more money. But you still get away with saying we're not raising your taxes.
I think you have to look at the infrastructure that's got to be done, what needs to be done. Now, if you can lower those taxes, absolutely, you lower them. I don't care if it's a half a cent, an eighth of a cent. If you can lower it, you lower it. But I still say you begin by not giving yourself a raise. That's where you begin.
Right. And
you don't give yourself a raise and then, lower it an eighth of a cent, because to me that's false. So because you're still giving yourself a raise, and you could have used that money for a road. Certainly that wouldn't even do part of a road on those raises for the commissioners. But if you can lower them at any time, I think you should, depending on what infrastructure needs to be done.
Do you think it's possible that if whether it's you or anyone else who's elected, that people in Lubbock County will be paying less in property taxes in the next few years, or will that continue to rise?
I think it's possible, yes, but I also want to make sure you understand you've got to take care of what you have. But with Lubbock County growing the way it's growing, yes, I do.
Okay. Something else that did come up during the debate was the issue of citizens not getting to vote on on Citizens Tower and for LPD. LPD, we know, is going to raise taxes. And at least that's what we've heard from different council members, that we're going to see a tax increase because of that. Did that deprive the citizens of being able to vote for a tax increase?
I'm still not sure the way we're doing that it will for sure be a tax increase, because the way things are rolling off, it could be, but it may not be. And I've asked Jarrett to look at that and make sure, because Citizens Tower was not a tax increase. The way they've done it and the way we've done it and found the money in the budget, it wasn't a tax increase. And the way we divided out the police station, we may not have to do that with that either, or do a smaller one. So, public safety is very, very important, and it's the job of elected officials is to make sure the public is safe. The police station, you've been through it, Chad.
Yeah.
It had to be done. That thing is falling down around the police's ears. So I think that's the way I look at it. You save everything you can. You cut out other things to make sure, and try your best not to do a tax increase, and do it the easiest way for the citizens. But that public safety is job one.
Do you look back on this decision for LPD and go, we should have let voters decide on this? Because there's a lot of, and I'm sure you hear it, there's a lot of voters who just, they're mad. They're mad at the city council. They're mad at anyone who's been associated with the city council, because they want to decide on things. And there's an upcoming vote for the Coliseum Auditorium. And honestly, I don't know how that's going to go right now, because I just keep hearing from people they are just distrustful of city government. Do you look back at it and go, we should have let people vote for LPD?
Possibly, but I stand by my vote. I stand by my vote. I look at it as I was elected to do a job. I was elected to do the job the charter tells me I need to do, and public safety is my number one job according to the charter. And the people that elected me to make good decisions with their money.
Right.
And I understand it's their money and it's not my money. And I do the very best I can, making the best decisions I know how to make for their money. And I believe that we made a good decision.
Karen Gibson, thank you.